Hey everyone, we've got a really exciting show for you today. I guarantee you're going to have a blast. So we're heading to the Mother Lode mine, and the Mother Lode mine is really cool because they had probably the largest blast, I'm sure, the largest blast in a mine they ever had in this whole area. They worked this mine for years with these tunnels and stopes, and they decided that they were just, they were getting tired of blasting a little bit at a time and cleaning it out and mining it. And they decided they were going to drill a monster. They drilled 4,200 holes, and they put 25 tons of explosives in these holes. 25 tons is like this box here. That's a 50-pound box of explosives. 1,000 boxes this size they filled up in this big big blast they were doing, and they lit the fuse, and basically they wrecked the mine. There's so much overburden that came down, diluted the copper so much that they never made much money at the mine. So it's continued to operate for a few more years. Anyhow, so it's a really cool mine. There's a great big open pit. That's where this blast was, and they were supposed to have been all sealed off, but we found a way to get down to the 200 level, and there's water below that. It went down to 500 feet below that. So anyways, so we're here to talk about explosives, and this here is a rail drill, and this is what they drill the holes in that they do blasting with inside the mine. This is mounted somewhere solid. This thing's pretty heavy. It weighs about 150, 200 pounds. Mount that in solid, put the bit in there, and then you crank this as you drill, and then the drill goes in, and that's the way. Then you pull it out, put a longer one in, and that's how you drill the face, and then they put it up there. Now I told you before that this here was a blasting cap, and I found out no, it isn't a blasting cap. What this is actually, it's a replaceable end for a drill. They weld that on the end of drill steel, and the hole is not for a fuse. It's actually for water to come up there. So that is not a blasting cap. But we were able to locate a blasting cap. And we're going to show you how this works. Now, I only have one of these, and I'm not going to tell you where it came from, and it won't be here much longer. But basically, so this is the old style that they used. They used to blow dynamite and stuff up before they started using electricity. Electricity became common because then they could time the charges. So you would drill a bunch of holes, time the charges, and then it would be like a wave. That the explosions would be like a wave. They light it, and it would go, and it was far more effective than just a big bang. This, you could only stick it in one stick, right, or a group of dynamite, and then it would just blow up that one, and it wasn't timed. You could light a bunch, but so it wasn't very sophisticated. So this was kind of the older style. The big advantage to this is you can use this underwater. There's nothing here. I'll show you. There's nothing you can do to put this guy out. I'm not going to try to put it out, but so basically the way it works is you just take the end off of here, and then you light it, and away it goes. So now the advantage to this is there's nothing. You don't really see nothing. You don't even see where it is. It just burns inside here, and it's very precise. It takes exactly 3 minutes. It's going to be pretty smoky in here. Well, I got 3 minutes, I know, before it goes off, and don't worry, I'll throw it outside before it goes up. But see, it starts to burn down, and there's nothing you can do to put this thing out other than just cutting it, or you can pull it out of the stick of dynamite. So it doesn't go off until it goes to the very end. So we're really going to stink up the shop here. So we're just going to throw this outside, and then we'll film the blasting cap when it goes off. It's just like a big firecracker, basically. So as you can see, the smoke is getting closer to the end there. Probably got about 30 seconds left, and it'll go off. And 3 minutes seems like a long time when you're waiting for something to blow up, so real close to it. It's not really very hazardous. It puts pressure and stuff on the dynamite, and that's what sets
or you won't live to tell.
All right, we're here at the Mother Lode mine. As you can see, it's a pretty large pit here. There was actually pretty much a town here. A railway came here, and it was a pretty profitable mine. And we've got an awesome mine here to explore. There's all the remains of the concentrator, compressors, and all that kind of stuff, the foundations of it, and we've got quite a bit of stuff to explore. All right, just a few little clips. We're flying over that Mother Lode mine here. This is actually the tailings pond here. As we're coming up the mine here, we're following the mine, and the mine is that great big pit. From the floor of the pit, the mine went down another 500 feet, but you can only get down 200 feet. So there's a guy there. He's got a little scrapyard there. He lives right beside it, but he's got no problem with it being there. It's Crown land. So back over the pit there, and we're heading back towards the tailing pond. And we'll make another pass or two real quick there. It's hard to get a good shot when you're flying over 100 miles an hour. If you fly too high, you can't see nothing. If you fly too low, you're going too fast. So need a helicopter. There's the pit again. And we're coming back around to the tailings pond here. And one more little shot over the pit here. It's a pretty big hole. It's not a good time of day to fly over it because it's a big shadow there. But it gives you kind of a rough idea just how big it is. It's a pretty fair-sized hole. So now we're coming over to Greenwood. Here, we're just going over this is where the Greenwood smelter is, actually where all this material went, just about 5 miles to the south there. And there's called Hell's Bells, or huge bells on top of their castings of slag there. And you see the great big stack there that you see when you go to Greenwood there. There's the stack right there. So we're looking at just all kinds of different type of rock. You know, some of it's pretty mineralized. Other that looks like more like a calcites here. And like I said, I'm not no geologist or nothing. But just kind of show you some of the different formations here. Heard of some sulfides there, and you see there's big shear. There we can see some probably pyrites, I guess, kind of a pretty goldish colored material. Usually, you know, pyrites are kind of associated with this type of rock. There you can see this was definitely blasted. You can see the drill hole there. Lots of different levels, and here we're making our way up the pit up to this one adit here. We're going to go inside and have a look, but yeah, pretty big open pit. You can see our vehicle way down. That's the way we came, and a fair bit of loose rock here. Obviously there's some hazards associated with rock falling on you. I wonder if that's some kind of a fossil. Interesting pattern there. We walked around the very bottom of the pit here, so there doesn't seem to be any adits that we can find at the top. So it looks like there's a few holes at the bottom we can check out. There's one there and another one at the end there, so we'll have a look at those. But as far as the open pit portion here, there's no adits that we could see anywhere around this side. Here's another shot of the pit there. You can just see all this pretty colorful material here. Lots of pyrites in there. It looks like gold, but obviously it isn't, otherwise they'd be mining it. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what it is. Kind of a gate, it almost looks like. Haven't seen that before. They blocked this adit off, but it wasn't too much of a problem to crawl under it. So there's an ore chute here. Look at the size of the timber on that ore chute. Here's another part of that. Kind of interesting. That looks like a real old rail car to me. An old mine car. Kind of a hook. Maybe there's an axle went through those big metal rings there. So sticking with our right hand tradition. Yeah, lots of branches in here, eh? So, alright, so some of these seem to be kind of blocked off. Huh. Big ore chute there, eh? Our LED light on our camera. Alright. So, a fair bit of air coming up through here. So there's a raise. See where all this air is coming from. I thought it was coming from down there, but could be wrong. Huh. No, not coming from down there. Coming from up here. I don't think they're going to get very far up there, unfortunately. Continue on down the main branch and see what we can find. Might not have too much to explore here. You never know till you go. Quite a few different branches here though. Let's go this way, Max. I don't know if we're going to be able to find our way through here very far. It's a pretty consistent colored rock here. See sort of a serpentinite sort of mixed in with some copper in here. Oh, there's a raised, there's just massive ore shoots in here. Look how skookum that is. Not looking very promising here though. That looks like it's pretty much all caved in. Yeah. And they didn't do a whole bunch of damage to those stopes. They probably would have continued mining this. But since they shut it down, I think maybe they just wrecked everything. Which might be like too bad for us. So it really looks like the story was here. Man's greed's got the better of him. They had a nice little mine here and he screwed it up. Okay, so yeah, here's another collapsed ore chute, and here is the last collapsed ore chute. So yeah, looks like they just basically wrecked this whole mine, unfortunately. So there's nothing for us to explore. I have no idea why they would have gone through all the trouble to put a big fence in there. I mean, there's nothing really in here to dangerous or anything. So that's what's at the Mother Lode mine that we could find so far. Those look like a bunch of tamping sticks. Some for tamping dynamite. I'm really impressed by these loadout chutes. I've never seen loadout chutes that were built that skookum. Awesome. Did a heck of a job on them. Those stoped out areas must have been really cool. Yeah, so if you're curious as to what's in behind this gated off area, well, let me just tell you, hardly worth the effort of crawling under it. As you can see from the underground, so they had all these tunnels and they were following these ore veins that were pretty rich, and you can see maybe that one goes in a little bit further, and there's one a little higher, but all these stoped out areas have all collapsed, and we haven't found any place where we can actually get anywhere. Here's another shot at some of this mineralization along the edge of the pit. So as you can see, there's a fair bit of copper in there, eh? You know, obviously not enough to be worth mining, but looks good to me. But what do I know, right? So the main shaft goes straight down 500 feet, and I've heard from somebody that it was actually cemented off. So we're going to see if we can find that. So this is certainly going to be interesting. This is something that we're going to need our rope gear for, and we can head straight down there and check this out. So our adventure's kind of begun here. We have all our gear on. We're heading down this shaft. So my light fell off and it fell down that hole. That's not really too much of a problem because obviously I have backup lights and lights in my camera, so we're gonna continue on down this shaft. Alright, so we were able to climb down this first part of this. You know, it's not really treacherous. That first part was pretty steep, but you know, nothing really nasty, but it's all good, because it's given us a chance to use our safety gear and practice this SRT stuff. But I don't think we really need it from this point down. It doesn't look really to be that steep. So we're just going to unhook there, and we have you know, three different ways we can go here. So looks like a big stoped area. Well, like I said, this mine went down to the 500 level, so it goes down a long ways. And this is going to be some of the real historic Mother Lode stuff that not many people ever get to see. So that's a challenge you always have when you get into these things, to try to light them. So this was really a big mine. I mean, this mine fed the smelter at Greenwood for most of the time that it was operating. Wow, who would have thought that little hole, you know, they just barely squeezed through, would allow you to get into this big, huge area here. Huh? Well, we've certainly found the keys to the mine here. We're just going to walk along here and show you some of this stuff here. There's a drill stuck in there. Not really that difficult to get in here. Definitely need ropes to get down that first part. It's pretty steep, but down in here it's not really that bad to walk around in here. There's some sulfides in here. Wow, that's probably the 200 level, so we're probably looking at 300 feet. I bet you there's about 300 feet of mine underneath that. It's pretty stable. It's not like caved in that much. Oh, there's a rope there. That rope doesn't look too ancient, but it's always hard to tell stuff underground. I mean, it's not exposed to the effects of the sun and stuff, so it just doesn't get fairly dry in here. It's not too bad. Let's see where that rope goes. Huh. Wow, this is just really definitely worthwhile to come in here. Oh, it's just the rope's just hooked to a little anchor. I guess people are. I can walk up here no problem with camera in my hands. More rats down here. Let's just see. It's a loose rock here, but it's not too bad of an angle. Worse than walking up a steep slope on the outside. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, it almost seems like in the pit that either the big blast sealed off a bunch of these stopes going down, or they just decided to try to block it off. Yeah, not going to get anywhere going up here. I'm surprised how warm it is down here. Some mines we went in really cold. Here in a t-shirt just walking around here, you're plenty of warm. Oh, there's another level going down. Yeah, it doesn't look too steep. I can get up there. Yeah, so it wasn't that difficult for climbing down there, and I'm sure I can get back up. We're heading into another slope, I guess. At this point, I'm just totally confused. Yeah, this wasn't a really crazy rich copper mine. It doesn't go down any further because we're going to run into the water, so this is just another stope. I think we're just right below the pit here, really. So this would be the 200 level. But, that's all that we'll be able to see. I don't think there's been a whole pile of people in here. Probably a lot of this loose rock broke off from the big blast, maybe. I don't think they mined this area after the big blast, and doesn't look like it to me anyways. Be kind of curious to see if we could find the main shaft, the Mother Lode shaft, that I heard was cemented off. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Always confusing being underground there. It's easy to lose your bearings. There we are. That's blocked right off there. So stope has just got one big massive pillar in the very middle holding it all up. So when they're talking about wanting to mine some pillars, that's what they were talking about. They definitely would have wanted to grab the ore. I kind of felt bad about having to leave that behind, but they knew damn well if they they did this whole thing and just collapsed. Eh? Guys are pretty smart. They understood physics and geology. Pretty interesting the way they done that. It's like just a whole bunch of arches, which is pretty strong, right? If you look around the top of this whole thing, it's just like a whole bunch of arches. They had a rope there, and it seemed to be in really good shape, so I thought I'd take advantage of this rope and take a trip down this ore chute. This whole trip seemed to be in pretty good shape. And show you where we are. 200 level, I guess. I see no railway tracks under there, nothing, but don't worry, I'm not planning on any cave tubing adventure down here. Doesn't look like there's gonna be much headroom there. I wouldn't get very far. It'd be way too much work to try to climb down there. Well, this was probably built back around the turn of the century, maybe 120 years ago. And then they used it for a lot of years to put a lot of ore down here. Keep the smelter Greenwood happy. To say, we're kind of really limited as to where we can go because the water's just below us. So all we can do is move along here laterally. Oh, there's some interesting material, eh? Ooh. Doesn't that look like lead and silver? That's silver. Pretty shiny looking stuff. There you go, a little bit more light there. So yeah, this looks like silver and silver to me. Yeah, maybe aluminum ladder. That is so. Well, aluminum should be safe, right? Oh, there's a rat. He's not gonna come bite us, is he? No, looks like he's running away. Good rat. We can pick our way up there. There's a ladder going up a big steep hole. Just gonna make our way up this sulfide slope here. Not really finding much for interesting artifacts here, but certainly interesting looking mine. Here we are, there's a bucket. Rope on it. There's another little rat hole that's plugged off. There's some pretty red looking material here. Yeah, I'm surprised how warm it is in here. You know, very large area and it's not open to the outside. You wonder why it'd be so warm. You know, it's not like really deep or nothing. Oh, there's a tamping stick for dynamite. Oh, that's a shovel. Yeah, not a tamping stick at all. A shovel. Yeah, let's have a climb up that aluminum ladder there. Looks like a good solid ladder. Yeah. Even if a guy did fall down it, just probably fall into that loose rock, wouldn't be too big of a deal. It is aluminum, right? Yep. It's a pretty old ladder though. It's not like the type you see these days. Probably a lot better made than the ones you see these days. Well, aluminum doesn't rust or corrode, so that's always the big advantage of aluminum. So I'm not really worried about it. Didn't even put my camera down. Oh, that's a pretty good, not good, pretty old ladder. Yeah. Bet you anything it says Polar. Wonder what they done with the 1,000 explosive boxes they used to blast the big hole here. Huh. So it's not in pristine condition, but yeah, kind of reckon it by picking it up. Well, not kind of. Not kind of reckon it. Yeah. Well, that looks more like a kind of a silver stuff, eh? Let's see what's down in this hole here. Oh, there's just stagnant in here. Eh? Not that it's a problem. The oxygen motor's happy, so. Well, there's our 200 level, I suppose, eh? Oh, she's pretty grimy down in there, though, eh? I'm thinking I should take that. I don't know how old it would be. I didn't know. Yeah, so just a little raise they started and they abandoned. There's some wedges. Yeah, that's I'm always looking for things to add to my collections, eh? Alright, that's pretty black stuff though, eh? I don't know why it's so black. Some kind of mineral, I guess, eh? Icicles in here. They look crumbly. That's argillite. Argillite. Yeah, there's a bit of a seam there. I'd really like to see that shaft. Be really exciting if we could find Mother Lode shaft. We're going to be able to, but we'll try. Maybe not connected to the 200 level. Or whatever level we're at. So we left our bottle up the top here. We're going to continue down this other ore passing. Not really sure why. I really know that we can't go in there. We're in the water here, but we just can't help ourselves. We're nosy. Never know we could find. Doesn't look too steep. Looks a little slimy here. There we go. Really steep right here. Oh yeah, so here's another block, another horseshoe. Anything in there interesting? Not really. Yeah, just another horseshoe there. I've seen quite a few of them in here. I'll just kind of have a look at this wall here. So we're standing on a ridge between about 3 passes going down all kinds of directions. You know, this mine looks really stable under here to me. I don't see any kind of issues that I'd worry about. This is a little stake, and what they do is they kind of mapping these out. And they're doing some prospection or surveying in here to tie their hip chain onto there. Yeah, you get so turned around, it's hard to tell where you've been sometimes. Yeah, it looks like somebody forgot their lights the last time we were in here. I don't think it was any time recently. Sure looks like my rope in on it. So, there's my tackle. There we go. So, we just have to climb back up there and we're done. Yeah, so we made her back up to the top there, so it wasn't a really nasty drop down there, but some good SRT practice. Practice on them single ropes, and it wasn't straight up and down, but yeah, it was really good to have the ropes. Definitely pretty safe and no issues at all. Really enjoyed the trip.